What's going on, guys? This is Damien from The Lookout and welcome to Starter Vegito Revisited. Blue Starter Vegito got support. This archetype is ancient. If you don't know how old it is, this came out in BT 10 years ago. Like more than 4 years ago or so. We are now in BT 22. It's super old. And it got random support. I think this got everyone off guard. The support is cute, we will be checking it out in this video, but before we begin, huge shout out to the Coffee Club, our lovely patrons who buy us coffee, they keep us going. We're making one Dragon Ball video every single workday, it's a crazy pace. Thank you guys so much for supporting us this way, and eventually we will replace the broken table. If you wish to join the Coffee Club, link to the Patreon is in the description below. It's only $2 and it's extremely appreciated. And I think that's everything, guys. Roll the video! As with all of our videos, let's start with the breakdown. So I'm gonna give you a brief archetype breakdown. I'll show you the new cards. We'll talk a bit about interactions, then I'll show you my deck list. And finally, we'll wrap it up with an end screen. Let's go! So what's Starter Vegito all about? Guys, this one is crazy, super old, and I don't know how functional anymore. It's an extremely unison-centric strategy. You can give your unison like triple strike. It really revolves around you having your unison out, which is an issue in the modern Dragon Ball era because there are so many green cards, specifically green cards, which just kinda kill unisons. You also have Black Smoke Dragon, which kills unisons, but not as big of a problem to this deck. But everything else in green, you're just getting demolished. However, there are some unison recovery pieces, which is awesome. So it's a unison-centric strategy. You profit when your unisons go to the drop, and if you catch your opponent off guard, you can just make your unison huge and give you triple strike and win the game. It might look a bit energy hungry, because, for example, to give your unison triple strike and plus 10k power, you need to pay 2 energy. That's a lot. The newest boss monster costs 4 energy. That's also a lot. It looks very energy hungry, but it can win games out of nowhere. Now let's check out the new support. We have a new boss monster, yes, an 8 cost Vegito. Oh my god, it's so expensive. It's a 30k triple strike barrier. Alright, he has a permanent. If it's your opponent's turn and this card is in rest mode, your blue unison, your blue Gogeta unison, gets plus 5k power. Alright, it's unison protection in a way. Then auto, when it attacks, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and bottom deck it, so it's removal. Worst case is 30k triple strike barrier removal boss monster, which also buffs your unison. That's great. But sadly, activate main, limit 1 for 4 energy. 4! If your leader is a blue Vegito card, play this card from your hand and play up to 1 blue unison with Gogeta in its name from your hand with 1 marker on it. 4 energy. That's extremely expensive. That's the main issue with this one. Yeah, I get it. You get him out and you get your unison out. So you're cheating, let's say, a unison in. Or cheating this one in. So 4 energy, it's kinda okay. If you do the math, it's fine. But still, 4 for this is extremely expensive. That's the biggest issue with this one. If it was, let's say, free energy, it would be less expensive. It would still be a lot, but it would be reasonable. 4, I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna be paying for this one, guys. But if you do, it's a good boss monster. It's not the craziest one, but it's pretty good. Then we have a new Trunks card. There's not a lot to say about this one. Actually, the boss monster is the one that I had to say about the most. These other two are just kind of okay, 3 sentences and then it's over. Like you can see on the slide, he is good unison protection basically. He is some good unison protection, unique barrier. Auto, when you play him, you draw a card, he replaces himself. Permanent, if this is your leader and you have a unison with Gogeta in its name, you reduce the cost of this card by 2, so he's a 1 cost, barrier, draw 1, and then he has another permanent. When he's in rest mode, your opponent can't attack unisons. That's it. That's everything. Your opponent needs to be swinging at him, and that's it. Like, it's just kind of good unison protection, nothing too crazy here. And the last new card is Mai, also not super crazy, just a couple of lines about this one. She is 1 cost. When you play her, you look at top 5, you grab 1 blue Saiyan with a cost 4 or less, or you grab a unison with a cost of 2 and add it to your hand, and then you shuffle the deck. Like, that's it. It's not too crazy. It's really not too crazy. Then she also has Activate Main for 1 energy, limit 1. If this is your leader and you send this card to your drop, from your drop to your warp, you play one of your unisons, one specific unison, which is Gogeta Pursuit of Power, with 1 marker on it from your hand or drop. Additionally, if you have played it from your hand, you draw 1. That's it. She's unison recovery. And that's everything. So, yeah, I mean, all of this support is okay. Like, Trunks is cool. He helps out. Having a unison recovery piece helps out. Plus, she's a consistency piece. That's awesome. The boss monster is expensive. It's really expensive. So we're gonna dive into the deck list, but I just wanted to comment that it's cool that it got support. Unfortunately, the support isn't like mind-blowingly good, but it's good. You know, it's not gonna make this the next meta deck, but it does cover some of its weaknesses. Now let's dive into the deck list. Okay guys, let's check out the deck list. Let's start with the leader. Frontside Vegito, when he attacks, draw 1, and then he has an alternative awaken condition if it's your opponent's turn and one of your unisons or battle cards. First off, if a blue unison would be placed into drop area or one of your blue battle cards is removed from your battle area by a skill or KO'd, very important, you awaken, you draw 2. The actual awaken condition doesn't matter, ignore it. Then on the opposite side, on the awakened side, he is SSB Vegito Godhood Transcended, one of the coolest names in the game. Auto, when he attacks, draw 1, activate battle for 2 blue energy, choose up to 1 of your blue unisons and it gains plus 10k power and triple strike for the battle. That's how you win out of nowhere. And then he has auto once per turn, the same auto as on the front side, but instead of awakening, you switch one of your mono blue energies to active mode and you draw 1. This makes cards like the new Trunks much better because your opponent swings into him, he dies, you restand 1, you draw 1. So that's a bit better. Now we have a double unison package, 3 copies of Gogeta Pursuit of Power and 2 copies of SS3 Gogeta. First, this one, he's a 2 cost. Both of them have the same permanent. If your leader is a blue Saiyan and you have a blue Saiyan battle card in rest mode, your leader doesn't take damage from attacks. Yeah, that was the main gimmick back in the day when this deck came out. Plus minus 0, activate main, you switch your leader or battle card to rest mode and you add a marker to this card. And then minus 2, you draw 1 and then you bottom deck one of your opponent's cards with an energy cost greater than their current energy, ignoring barrier. And the other one says the following: dual attack, same permanent, minus 1, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards, return them to your opponent's hand, and then choose 1 mono blue Saiyan with an energy cost of 2 or less from your hand and play it with its skills negated. The thing with this one is that it costs 3 energy. So when I said that Black Smoke Dragon isn't that much of an issue, it's mainly because A, nobody plays it anymore, and B, if you're certain that your opponent is gonna play one of the decks that play Smoke Dragon, you can just side more of these ones and just side the other ones out. Then we are having a bit of a new support package: 3 copies of Mai, 3 copies of Trunks, 2 copies of Vegito, and now we're going to 4 copies of Dr. Rota and 2 copies of Oob. Why and how? Here's why. Blocker for 1 energy 4k. When he is KO'd, choose up to 1 of your blue energy and switch it to active mode. In Ub says if you have a blue unison in play, when he's played, draw 1. He's also a 1-cost blocker. Why does this matter? Because your leader awakens when a battle card is removed from a skill, removed from a battle area by skill or KO'd. That's why you have your Dr. Rota, your blocker. So you can basically awaken on 1 energy if you went first, which is awesome. Yeah, which is pretty good in this deck. Then we have 2 copies of Ub, because why not? Ub is amazing. Play always play Ub. Always play Ub. We also have 2 copies of Trunks Emotional Blow. So the thing about this one might be a bit expensive depending on your region. 20k critical. It's from regional packs. It's a promo and it's from the ones that were very expensive. Permanent. During your opponent's turn, if all of your energy is mono blue and you would reveal this card from your life, add it to your hand. Doesn't matter. Ignore. Auto. Once per turn, when it attacks, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, ignoring barrier, negate indestructible, and bottom deck it. Doesn't really come into play. It's good versus green, because it deals with Zamasu. The reason why we are playing it is this. Activate main, limit 1 for 1 blue energy. If your leader is blue, your opponent has 3 or more energy, and you have a blue battle card with an energy cost of 8 or more, or an original power of 30k or more in play, play this card from your hand. So, Ub costs 8, 30k, Vegito costs 8, 30k, so we can just play our Trunks as activate main. This is the only reason why we're running it. Now 1 copy of Gohan. Again, this one is super expensive. You can replace it and just up the ratio of something. That's it. 3 copies of Piccolo, 3 copies of Pan, same thing. These are just like blue good stuff cards. If you don't have them, just keep Pan and you can replace Piccolo just by upping the ratios of other cards. 4 copies of Vegeta. This is our super combo, because you want to draw 2 super combos. They are the best super combos in the game. 2 copies of Defending Friends. You can up the ratio of these. Yeah, you will have to have Z energy for this, for Defending Friends, or play a Z battle card. You don't have a Z leader, so you have to do one of those 2 in order to get the floodgate out, which is why I'm thinking like, okay, 2 copies is probably more than enough. Now, if you're asking me, well, Damien, like, let's say I don't have Gohan Power Reclaimed, like I don't have this one, what do I do? I will tell you, like, increase Ub to 1, just for some more awakening consistency. If you don't have Piccolos, you can just up the ratio of, I don't know, my Trunks or Ub, just something. It doesn't have to be this expensive, trust me, it doesn't. Then let's go over the rest. 3 copies of Heroic Prospect. You see, like, you can up copies of this one. This card usually doesn't see play anywhere ever, but because we're playing Unisons, we get to play this one, so why not? Counter attack, negate the attack and then play him. Permanent. During your opponent's turn, if you have a Unison, a blue Unison in play, reduce his cost by 2. So 1 energy, floodgate basically. Auto, when it's played, your opponent can't attack with battle cards with energy cost greater than their current energy for the turn, unless they bottom deck 2 from hand with each swing. Yeah, I might, if you don't have either Gohan or Piccolo, just up the ratios of Trunks and Ub, and maybe this Ub as well. Trunks is good. Trunks has always been a meme. He usually hasn't been that good. God Ceiling was much better, though that one is banned. But in this deck, where you want to have your Unison out, you will have your Unison out most of the time. Extra defenses that Trunks can offer. Yeah, it's a more than welcome thing. Extra defense is more than welcome. Plus, he is easier to get online than Defending Friends, because you just need a Unison out. You're still paying 1 and you're just floodgating your opponent. We have 1 copy of Turning the Tide, because we will likely go into long game, and then we can just pay 7 and win out of nowhere. We are also running the standard blue package of extra cards, and that is 4 copies of D-Magic, 3 copies of Senzubin. I think 3 is more than enough in this deck, maybe even 2. 2 copies of Ultra Instinct Kamehameha, 1 copy of Beerus Destroys. So one thing that you can do, let's say, if you don't think that 3 is optimal, if you want to run 2, you can like up Realm of the Gods, for example, or you can just do something with these very expensive 2 cards. I promise I'll try to make future decks less expensive than this one. It's just the thing when you're running blue, you're playing a lot of good stuff and a lot of it costs. So anyways guys, this is the deck. That's it for the video. Let me know in the comments below, are you hyped for new Vegito cards? It's super surprising that this one got support. It's crazy to think that this one actually managed to get support. That's super interesting. I might try it. Like I said in a previous video, I don't play blue. I barely have anything when it comes to blue cards. I don't even think I have all of the staples for them. It's like blue is one of the colors that I'm not really touching. I never got too much into it. And when I did, Ceiling got banned. I got burned with blue. But are you excited to play Vegito? Let me know in the comments below. I read all of your comments. I try to respond to everything. I love our little community. And guys, while you're here, hit those like and subscribe buttons. We are on our way to 4,000 subs. As unreal as that sounds. And we're doing daily Dragon Ball Super card game videos. Yeah, we're committing to do these daily. Now, can I fully commit to do this? Probably not, but we have been on a 3-week streak with them. Let's see how long we can make it last. Guys, this has been Damien for The Lookout, and I'll see all of you in the next video.